I have been living in Delray Beach, and that's because my business is here. And I just stayed because I had so many clients when I got out of college, and it was like, I'm dumb to move away from this. So I've just been in this area, and I feel like I've done it. And I just want like more action and more connections and people my age. And just like, now is the time where I feel like I should be traveling and moving and like just trying things out. In Miami, it's like an hour south of where we are. So it's a safe bet to where I can still come here and still have a different scene and just see what happens. What's up, guys? Welcome to the On Track with Annie podcast. Make sure before we get into this episode to leave a rating and review and comment what you want to see next and any topics that you have in mind, because I always like to hear that. And let's get into today's episode. So today we have a very special guest.
Hey.
Introduce
Janine
yourself
Stella,
here.
podcast producer, queen extraordinaire.
She's so talented. We're using this amazing studio today, so it is awesome. I'll leave all the links in the description below. But today what I want to talk about, because I actually heard this on a podcast that I listen to, Mel Robbins, which she's amazing.
I love Mel Robbins.
Me too. And it was all about going after what you want when you're in your 20s and when you're younger, and just like taking the leap of faith and going after this. So I was telling Janine that I am going to be going to Europe for 6 weeks, and I decided to rent my townhome out for 2 months, and I found a random renter on Facebook, and we cleared her. I called her previous landlord and I FaceTimed her. I was like, all right, she's good. And I'm renting it out just because I had this idea in mind, and I was like, I don't know when I'm going to get to do this again, of like not having, I'm not going to say I don't have responsibilities. I do, but not as many as I might in the next like 3 or 4 years. So why not just do it? And I've been saving up a ton of money this year, even though I've been spending a lot too, to be able to do this. So I planned this trip out, and I'm going to London for a week. And then I'm going to Amsterdam for 4 days. I'm meeting some friends there. And then I'm going to Ibiza for 3 days. Woo, woo. And then to, this is a very long list, Marbella for 4, Barcelona for a week. And then I'm actually, where else am I going after that? Oh, I'm meeting my family for 2.5 weeks. And we're doing...
In Spain?
Yeah, we're doing Spain near Granada, which I think is near Seville, right? Seville?
Yeah, in the south.
And then, and then we're going to be taking a boat over to Morocco. And then after Morocco, we're going to Portugal.
You mean Majorca?
No,
or
Morocco. Like Africa.
Literally Africa?
Yes.
That is insane.
Yes, and I didn't realize how close it was. So
very close.
Yeah, you can take a ferry. I think it's like an hour and a half. And you can go over to Morocco. And originally, we wanted to go to the Azores, which are the islands in Portugal. But that was a 3.5 hour flight. And I watched so many YouTube videos, and I was like, this doesn't, like, it looks cool. It's supposed to be like the Hawaii of Europe. But then you watch other videos, and it looks very just like kind of dry, very secluded. Some parts look cool, some parts don't. So I'm like, I want to do Morocco. So that's the plan for Europe this summer, and I'm really excited.
I'm so excited for you because I did the same thing in my 20s.
And yeah, tell me about it.
I can honestly say, well, I studied abroad when I was 19, and then I lived in Florence for about a year. But then during that year, it was like all hands on deck. I went everywhere. I went to the Czech Republic. I went to Austria, went all over Spain. Did all kinds of crazy stuff, took trains, had sex with random people that didn't speak English. It was epic.
See?
It was awesome.
Okay, so this is what I always hear.
No regrets.
Yeah, that's what I always hear. And I'm always afraid of regrets because I feel like I previously had a problem with wasting a lot of time. Like, I just felt like I was always like needing to work out or work when I was like in my early 20s. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I spent so much time just worried about like, oh, I got to work so much and work out and all this stuff, and sports, being in college sports, like the college experience, to be honest, was not there because of that. And so I don't know, I feel like I'm almost like not making up for lost time, but I just have a lot to cross off my list still.
You learn a lot when you travel, especially as a young female. I think you really have to trust your intuition and really know your surroundings. I think it teaches you awareness. It also, I think, teaches you to really just learn how to have fun with yourself. Like, have a good time. Go to a cafe and sit and like people watch. Just like do random stuff and have fun and not give two shits about what anyone says or anyone thinks. It's all about you and just own it. Have fun.
Yeah, and I think it's important to do that because a lot of times people will be so afraid to even like go to dinner by themselves or go on a trip by themselves.
Yeah.
And then they get to the point, which I hear this all the time from training clients that are like in their 40s and 50s, 60s, that are like, I got married really early and then I had kids and like I don't ever have alone time anymore. And now it's like I can't do this stuff.
Yeah.
And so that almost freaks me out to hear that because I'm like, I just don't want to be in that position.
I still don't have kids and I'm 41, I'll be 42. And honestly, I really like my life because I still live my life like I did in my 20s. Like I can just get up and go. I don't like how people do all this fun stuff and then all of a sudden they get in their 30s and 40s and realize, well, the fun's over. No, the fun's not over. You can still do whatever you want. Like, don't play into the societal norm that says that the fun is done and you have to be barefoot and pregnant and, like, no. You create the life that you want. You enjoy the life that you want. You abide by your own rules. Just have a good time.
It's such a good point because a lot of people do think it's like over when they're in their 20s. They're like, when I get to this point, and that's so true. Honestly, some people that I know that party the hardest are in like their 50s and 60s.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They have more fun than I do. I'm like, wow, and they can throw parties now and really go at it, and they have like. Like it's just a good time. And I've gotten invited to some of those parties and I'm like, you guys know how to do it. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah,
they are crazy. So
For
I
sure.
think, I think it's really important to do things like that when you're younger and when you're older too. But I know it's a little bit different. So I just think take the leap of faith and do it. And I thought it would be more challenging to figure out how I'm going to do this because yes, it's expensive, but I actually spent this whole year going on like little weekend trips that I saved up so much air miles. That my entire flight there and back was covered. So I had
that is so good.
Yeah, I think I had $2,000 in points.
That's amazing.
Or maybe it was more, 2,500 maybe, because I think each flight, which it's more expensive to do it one way.
Yeah,
but it was completely covered. And then I had a few like Airbnbs that I'm sharing with friends when I'm there, and then some of the hotels were pretty cheap in certain places. I think London was the only pretty expensive area.
Because they're still on the pound.
Yes, London was expensive.
Yeah, London is very pricey.
Very
pricey.
Yes, and that's without doing hostels, but you can do it. And then I was like, okay, and also like half of my mortgage will probably be covered with renting my room out. So, it can be done. You can figure it out.
Absolutely. I could tell you crazy. You want to hear a crazy story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I remember I moved there with a dear friend of mine who's a male who we're still friends to this day. And I moved there because I was like, I don't want to be like, the movie Taken and be two girls in Europe for, a year and God forbid something happened. So everyone like assumed that he was my male partner, right? But we were just only friends and we've been friends forever. But we have been in some rough situations. Like we've stayed in hostels that actually the worst one was in Italy in the south, like in Bari where my family's from.
Okay.
We went down there and it was the middle of winter. The heat broke in the building, and the only bathroom was one bathroom for an entire floor full of travelers. And you walked into the bathroom, and there was a toilet, and then in the same room was just a tile floor with a drain and a tarp with a bar of soap on a bucket.
No.
For all of those people. Like that was
Oh my God.
That was the shower situation.
I don't think I would take sponge baths.
It was like, where am I? And it was freezing cold. It was like I've stayed in some rough places. I stayed in a red light district at a hostel in
Amsterdam.
In Madrid, actually.
They have a red light district there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's not just Amsterdam. It's different.
No, they have like it was a very sketch part of town anyway. But we stayed in this place. We walked out downstairs and we wanted to go out. And there's like all these hookers and all of these like drug addicts like outside. And we're like, where do we go to have fun? And they're like, oh, go to this part of town. So we just listened because we were dumb Americans, and we listened, and it ended up being like the gay pride district of Madrid. And basically I ran out because I thought that like an angry group of lesbians were going to like they were like going to hurt me or something. I don't know. It was really bizarre.
See, that's what I would be freaked out about. And like, you just don't know what they have or whether they're going to steal your shit. They're going to pull out like something in the middle of the night. Like I couldn't.
Spain is like, they always say Italy's really bad, but Spain is
perfect.
awful. Like I had my backpack, and this was like 20 years ago, granted, but I had my backpack slashed open with a razor blade on a train going from Barcelona to Madrid. And they tried to take thank God my roommate was like, oh my God, he kind of caught what was going on.
Uh-huh.
But these kids just ride the trains up and down and they just steal all day long from people. Like that's their MO. They just steal, they go up and down. And this lady, she was an American on the train. We get into Madrid and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. And then I see this lady, she's sobbing off the train. I tell she's American. I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, they stole everything from me. They stole everything. She's like, my purse, my passport, my money. I have nothing. And she was traveling there to visit her daughter who was studying abroad in Madrid.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was so sad. So we ended up walking her all the way to the Western Union. Her husband like wired her money. We were able to like get her situated. We walked her to her hotel. Like we stayed in touch for a long time. She was actually a professor at Rutgers in New Jersey. And she was like the coolest lady ever. We ended up doing like all kinds of fun stuff with her. But it's scary when you're in another country and like you really have to watch your surroundings, who you're around. There's a lot of gypsies. There's a lot of people that like you can't trust anybody.
I'm glad you're telling me this. I mean, I get worried about that. Like all my Airbnbs and my hotels are very safe and good. So once I'm there and have my stuff in there, I'm not worried about it. But it is like, getting into the airports and like going to the train to the location.
Trains are rough. In Spain, they're rough.
Oh.
And you just have to like bring one of those things that that you can put like across the strap underneath your clothing so they can't see it.
With the most important things.
Yeah, like passport or, put things in different places so everything is not all in one spot. Mm-hmm. And don't fall asleep on trains because that's when people like, don't take a late night, overnight train because you think it sounds cool. But I did that and I stayed awake for the entire 8 hours.
That's a great idea.
I couldn't, at least if you're during the day, you're aware. Like you might nod off, but it's not like you're sleeping in a cabin.
I'm almost like take Ubers directly from the freaking airport to the location. Like I'm almost kind of
they have Uber now in Europe?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So cool.
So maybe that would be a smarter option because I'm going to be by myself most of the time when I'm flying in places. And then meeting up with people. So it's like, I guess.
You might want to take an Uber.
Yeah.
Because if you're carrying a lot of.
I'm definitely. Well, so I was going to bring like a carry-on suitcase, but that's what I used to go to like Colorado for 3 nights. And I can barely fit my stuff in there in a backpack. So I'm like, I actually might need to check a bag. Like one.
I would bring an empty bag as a carry-on.
Okay.
And a backpack. And that way when you buy stuff while you're there, you can like.
Ship it back.
You can put it in that bag and then or ship stuff back, but at least like it's with you. Like you don't have to check anything.
I know that'd be a lot better because checking it can always get lost.
And like bring like a few cute dresses and like some yoga pants and.
I am such an overpacker.
Me too.
Like especially when it comes to vacations when you want to take a bunch of cute photos and you're like, I just want to wear this outfit and this.
Yeah, 100%.
And like your camera stuff if you guys film or whatever. Makeup, hair stuff, shoes. It's like that's an entire suitcase in one.
Can you just bring like a small carry-on that you can like just an easy one?
Yeah, maybe.
Like a little.
It's gonna take me a few days to pack probably.
And a backpack.
And have to keep like I'm gonna try everything. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to like condense it all. But
what if you hire like a professional organizer to come pack you for?
That would be amazing.
Does anyone know I know a professional organizer, but I don't know professional travel organizers, if that makes sense.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, but how cool would that be
cool.
to hire someone and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to be gone X amount of days. I'm going to Europe. I need you to like strategically like map out and like put everything on here and condense it into like luggage.
Oh, wow. You know what? I might look that up because that would be so funny just to see them do it too. They'd probably be like, you need to not bring 17 pairs of shoes, but
That's a lot of shoes.
Well, okay, a pair of running shoes, a pair of heels,
Okay.
and like boots
And some sandals.
and some flats, right?
Some sandals. Yeah.
All right.
4 pairs. That's not 17
Okay.
though.
We're gonna try
four's
that.
good.
Okay.
Four's
I'm gonna
good.
do my best with that.
And you're going to be there for the summer, so it's going to be
It's gonna be hot as hell.
hot. Well, in Italy, it's actually like cool in the summer. Like in northern Italy, it's kind of even though it's like hot during the day, it gets really chilly at night. And the only reason I know that is because when I lived there, my apartment, I had like a loft door
Yeah.
that opened up, and it was kind of chilly at night.
So bring a few jackets. I'll have to put those
Yeah.
around my arm when I'm checking in. It's gonna be so funny me carrying like trying to fit everything. I'm gonna have like jackets across my arm, 3 sweatshirts on. I'm gonna layer the hell out of my clothes. Like I think I'm gonna wear shorts, leggings, and then sweatpants over that on the plane.
Yeah. Probably could because it's going to be freezing on the plane.
Yeah, but just to like be able to fit everything. I'm like, should I wear 2 pairs of shorts and then just take it off when I get on the plane? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But anyways,
Can you film all of that? I think
what-
it would be
I definitely will.
hilarious.
I definitely will because the way that I pack is ridiculous.
So when you fly over there, where are you going to first again?
London, because I think it'll give me a good like base because London is I feel similar-ish to America. So I feel like that's a good place to start where I'll be like, okay, I feel good. And then from there, the crazy shit will happen.
How long are you going to be in London?
A week.
What are you going to do?
I don't know yet.
Go to Kensington Palace.
Yes, I'm staying in Kensington.
Go to the London Eye, like the
Okay.
Ferris wheel. You've got to do the London Eye. It is so badass.
I will.
It's
I don't.
super fun. The pictures that you get from the London Eye are so awesome.
The funniest thing is I have no itinerary for anything. Zero. I'm just like, all right, I'm going here.
Go
I
to
don't
the
e-
West End. That's where all like the clubs and stuff are. I didn't get to go when I was in London because I was with my bestie, but then I was with her cousin who was a lot older at the time, and I just wanted to go out and party, and that wasn't a thing.
I feel like the goal of this trip is to have a lot of fun. Because, yeah, you're right. When I go on these weekend trips, a lot of the time I'm with like someone or I'm meeting like my sister, someone that's just not on the same page as me. And I just want to have fun, obviously be safe. I don't want to get any of my stuff stolen or have any bad situations, but just like a good time.
Let's look it up.
And have this be like a really fun trip.
Let's look this up.
Can cross on my bucket list. So I don't know. I think it's really important. I feel like I've only done like week trips. Like I've done like a week to Europe, 7 days to Europe. I did that with 2 of my closest friends 2 years ago. We went to Italy. That was amazing, but it's just not the same as spending like 5 weeks and just like doing it all, you know? So
Best
I'm excited.
things, check this out.
Okay.
Best things to do in London, like for partying. So there's escape rooms, there's skyline boat parties, there's axe throwing, there's a fight club.
That would be funny.
Let's see, sweet making workshop. There's London nightlife. Hold on. With the West End, see? So the best part of the nightlife is in Soho, right in the center of the West End. It's got top restaurants. Like, that's where you want to be.
So I'm staying by there on the weekend when I get there, which is good. I get in on a Friday morning, which I'm going to try to sleep on the plane so I can just go all out that day and explore.
Fabric is the London club.
Fabric. Okay.
That's the name of, like, the most famous club in London.
Watch me, like, not be able to get into any of these. I'm going to be like, hey, guys.
You're a hot American
just got
blonde.
into town.
You think they're going to be like, no, the hot American blonde can't come in.
This is the funny thing is, like, I am not afraid to go places by myself. Like, that sounds crazy to, like, go there by myself, but I, like, don't. It doesn't faze me. I'm like, I don't, whatever. Like, which most people are very afraid to do.
I mean, I've traveled by myself there. Like, I've taken trains and, like, done stuff, but yeah, that would terrify me a little bit.
Really? It doesn't at all. Like, maybe getting home, like, I'd want to Uber, obviously, from the place and be safe, but, like...
In Italy, it wouldn't scare me because I lived there, so I kind of know the systems there. But if I went to, like, every time I went to another country, like when I went to Ireland, when I went with, like, friends, so we kind of, like, congregated together. But that is so much better when you go by yourself, though, because then you don't have to have anyone nagging you going,
No.
I don't want to do that, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, I want to. It's my life.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I just want to do it all and have fun, and that's the whole reason for this trip. So I am so excited. And then when I get back, I'm going to have a few weeks, and I'm actually renting my whole place out, and I'm gonna move to Miami for like 4 to 5 months. I want to do like a short-term lease.
Yeah.
And the reason behind it is I have been, is that camera still on, by the way? Is it still recording?
Yep.
Okay. It turns off at like 20 minutes. Okay. So the reason for it is I have been living in Delray Beach, and that's because my business is here, but I did go to college around here, and I just stayed because my business was like, I had so many clients when I got out of college, just happened. And it was like, I'm dumb to move away from this in my head. And there was nothing that sounded better. I also had like a long-term relationship here at the time. So I've just been in this area and I feel like I've done it. And I just want like more action and more connections and people my age and just for a little bit. Cause I feel like, again, the whole thing with like regret, I'm like, now is the time where I feel like I should be traveling and moving and like just trying things out. In Miami, it's like an hour south of where we are. So it's a safe bet to where I can still come here, have my business, maybe not as many of my clients, but and still have a different scene and just see what happens. So
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I want to come. Can you like put me in your suitcase
Absolutely.
or something?
Definitely. You can come.
Oh my God. So fun.
Yeah. So like it's all terrifying, like all of this, because I'm like, and I always also have a problem, I don't know if you do, with like enjoying the present moment, but how it's like things actually might not be exactly how they are right now. So even when things are shitty, it's like look around and be like, what do I have right now that I'm like super happy about that might actually be totally different 3 months from now?
100%.
You know, and it's like that is so true, especially when it comes to like change. It's everything can look different to you soon. So you have to like really take it in.
And take pictures. I mean, that's something, the best part about going to Europe 20 years ago, for as long as I did, is the pictures that I can look back on and go, oh my gosh, like that was a blast. I can't believe I was there. I can't believe I did that. And what I haven't done is like a photo wall of like my travels, which I think is like, that would be such a cool thing to have in your place, is eventually do like, you know, certain photos from different places. So then you could look back on your life and it could be like, I went here, I went there. And then it's just, pictures are worth 1,000 words, and like they keep your memory alive of like what you did and where you were. And
isn't it crazy how everything is just like memories though? Like it makes me sad, but it doesn't, because obviously like memories are so great, but it's just weird. Like I'm like, we're having this moment right now, and then it's just a memory. Like it's just like, I don't know, the whole concept, maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but it's just like, it's crazy.
And then when you get older, you don't have any memories because you get old.
It makes me so sad. That's why I'm like, I want to enjoy this, because I already have in my head that like this trip and all, it's going to be a memory, you know? I already have that in my head. So I'm like, I just want to meet as many people as I can, maybe
what
make
if you
some
meet
friends.
like the love of your life over there?
Oh, that would be amazing.
And then
you know
just,
what?
like, stay there. You're like, peace out.
I would actually love to have someone that was from like a different country, like Europe, because my literally life goal is to have a place there and be there for like 3 months out of the year.
Amen. Yeah,
I just
me
like
too.
see it. You do?
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I would actually love that, and have someone like I like dating people from other places in general, just because like I enjoy the different culture and them sharing things with me, and like someone that's well traveled.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about someone. So I feel like I tend to do that anyways. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it. But where would you want to have a place?
Well, I loved Florence, and so my dream was always to have like an Airbnb there and then just stay there like for maybe a month or two during the year, but like rent it out.
Yes.
So that way I could like go there but make money on it. And then just like, but I've always loved Florence. I love it because it's a walkable city. You don't need a car. You don't need a lot of transportation. You can literally, I mean, it might take you a while to walk from one end to the other, but at least it's walkable. And it's just fun.
I absolutely love Florence and love the whole like culture of Italy in general, just because it's like, it's just beautiful. Like the whole, it's not medieval, I won't say, but it's like kind of that vibe.
Renaissance, old school.
Like, Renaissance.
Yeah.
I love it. So there's a website called cheapeuropeanproperties.com.
Ooh.
And it shows you like very cheap locations. So like in Tuscany, because I would love to have a place there. It's like 200,000 euros, and it's like a whole estate. And it's not close to like stores and anything, but that's kind of the point.
Right.
And they have a bunch of really cheap places, and that's a really great place to look. Most of them, are not around like major cities, because obviously that's why it's so cheap. But I mean, for an Airbnb, I feel like a lot of people, especially coming from America, they want like seclusion, and they want to just enjoy the culture and like not be around a million people. So
That's so true.
yeah, look on that website. But
Cheap European.
why can we not say it?
CheapEuropeanProperties.com.
Yes. Yes, and they
That's
have
a word salad.
I know. A word salad. They have an Instagram and it shows you all the photos with the price tag on it, and you can save them and go look at the listing. And my aunt told me about this, and I was like, because she bought a place there. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know this was a thing. And now I'm like on it all the time. I'm like, all right, we need to save up this much. I don't know what the rules are to actually purchase it though. But
I don't. Do they? Is it all cash only, or can you mortgage anything over there?
to be honest with you, maybe that's the catch. Maybe not.
Oh,
Maybe that's the catch. I would assume, unless you have a bank account over there, but then don't you have to have some...
yeah. I don't
there's
know the
some,
deals.
yeah, there's some laws
yeah,
in place there.
for
so
sure.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to start looking
Just
at
like years ago, they were promoting like distressed properties there. They were trying to like bring attraction and bring civilization to old Italian cities that like hadn't been occupied. So they were giving them away for €1. Like, here's a property for €1, basically like $1.
Holy shit.
But the catch was you had to fix it up within 6 months, and you had to hire like people that lived in the city to basically like, you had to hire contractors that lived there to like, you couldn't just like move there and fix it up yourself or whatever. And there's all these like stipulations on that. But I mean, it looked pretty enticing. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh, €1.
That is really cool.
But they're like in the middle of nowhere. It's not like we're talking about like cities that are well known. We're talking about very...
yeah, you'd have to have a car or a moped or something to get around.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Most of these places that are cheap, I'm
Do you
assuming.
ride
are bad.
mopeds?
I'm kind of scared in Europe to do that.
Yeah.
Around town, like when I lived in Gainesville and it was like a small college town. Yeah, we would do that over there sometimes, like from games and whatever. But no, not in like here. I don't think I would because of the drivers.
Yeah, they're
and then
nuts.
in Europe, drivers are kind of crazy too. So I don't. Can you check if it's on again? I keep like checking. Is it say record?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep checking because this always gets cut off. But yeah, I got to check it out. But hopefully we don't have another. I think you heard the story, but it was cut out of one of the podcasts about the Paris situation that I had with that one guy with the boom boom room.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I told you about this, but
You did.
it got cut out of the previous podcast. But when I went to Paris over Christmas last year, I was with two of my clients that I took me there to train them. And they were at the boom boom room and I was like, this is boring. I want to like live it up. It was like the last night that we could go out before Christmas Eve. And I wanted like some house music, some DJs dancing. And this was like literally like Katy Perry music, like the most, and people were dancing to it. I'm like, this is awful. So I was like, I'm going to meet you guys back here at 3:30 a.m. and I'm going to take an Uber to a random place. And I saw this like house music venue that was like underground. I'm like, this looks cool. I took an Uber there and I went there and there was like a woman DJ holding a loaf of bread. I was like, this is perfect for France. It was like, but it was such a good vibe. And then I met this guy that was really cute in the dark. And we were dancing and I was like, all right, he has friends. I was by myself like a dumbass, but I was like, all right, we're dancing. We're having a good time. Like, this is fine. And then my phone died. And I had to be back at the boom boom room at 3:30. And it was like, I think like 2:45 at this point. And he had his phone. And I was trying, he didn't speak any English. And he was trying to tell me like on the map, like on Uber, like I'm going here, like you're here. So what I thought he was trying to tell me was like, I'll go in the Uber with him and like they'll drop him off at his house. And then we'll go right to the boom boom room because it was like right there on the map. Well, it was probably like a solid mile and a half. But
oh my God.
That's what I took from it. So I was like, all right, let's go. Like I have like 45 minutes. Cool. And so I got in the Uber and we get to his apartment and the Uber's... Sorry, the YouTube video cut off. It will not happen again. My camera sucks. But here's the rest of the episode. Stay tuned for the next one and enjoy. It's like, get out. Like, bye. Like, I didn't speak any English, but I heard bye. And I was like, wait, like, can you call me an Uber, like, to get to the boom room? I thought that's where I'm going. And he's like, well, we need to get out. Like, I'll call you upstairs. And I was like, no, like, call it for me. Like, I need to go back. I have to be back in like 30 minutes at this point. So we get out of the Uber and it was like 40 degrees. It was freezing. This was Christmas. And so I walk inside of like it was like a loft apartment area. So we walk downstairs where like the lobby area is, which wasn't really a lobby. It was like the mail room basically. And so he's like, okay, well, come up. I'm going to get my jacket. I'll call you, whatever. And I'm like, at this point, like, okay, whatever, fuck it. Like, let's go. So I go up the elevator and he has like literally, it's like a 200 square foot apartment. Like it's this tiny kitchen with the bedroom in the kitchen and like a tiny bathroom. Like it was the size of my walk-in closet. It was tiny. So I'm sitting on a chair by the door, like in the kitchen next to the fridge. Like, and he goes in the bathroom and he comes out with no clothes on.
I remember you telling me this story.
And I'm like, my first reaction, I was like, oh, like I like screamed. I was like, what? Oh my God. I was like, no. This is not like wrong idea. Like my hands like were going crazy. I'm like, this is not what
oh my God.
You thought the wrong thing. Like, and we weren't even like, we weren't kissing. There was no, we were dancing, but there was none of that going on for him to assume that. So I'm like, what? And then in the light, like this man was like, so hairy, pale, like just not what I thought he looked like in the dark. Like he looked like he had like a good chest, you know, some arms, like well, I knew what his face looked like, but I'm like, this is not like, I'm not into this. And I'm like, I need to leave like right now. So he was like not understanding. Like I think my reaction was so like crazy that he was then like, what the fuck?
Right.
And so I took his phone and I went on the Uber app and I typed in boom boom room and like called myself an Uber and I like put the phone down. I made sure that the driver was like coming before I left. And I like put the phone down. He's still like standing in front of me naked. And I like gave his phone back to him and like grabbed my purse. And I like ran out the door.
Did the Uber
came, yeah. And then all I see was him like running out the hallway. Like, thank you. Bye.
Naked?
Yeah, naked. He still had no clothes on. I'm like, what the fuck? And I go down the stairs. Down and get in the Uber and I'm like, what what just happened? And I go back to the boom boom room and they were all like dancing on the tables at 3:30. Like the party was still going on. I'm like, maybe I should have stayed here. But yeah, and then we went back, had a very wholesome Christmas Eve the next morning and Christmas. And
did you tell your friends what happened?
No. I was like, I just felt like I couldn't be trusted for the rest of the trip. So I was like, I'm not telling anyone this until I get back to the U.S. and then I'll tell a few people. Well, now I'm telling everyone. But yeah, that was not a great experience. But let's hope it doesn't happen again.
That's awful.
So I am making sure I'm bringing a portable charger, like maybe 2 of them or something. Like everything needs to be fully charged and
at all times.
Yeah, maybe like a burner phone.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna be fully prepared.
It might be cheaper too to get a burner phone.
Yeah, my phone got stolen in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I
on a
remember.
different trip. So, yep.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay this round?
I'm
Going over there?
hoping. I need to just make sure
Like,
every time before I go out and
kidnappings
drink.
by naked men, phones being stolen. Like, I don't know if I can trust this.
I can't trust myself sometimes, but now that I've had those experiences, we've learned a valuable lesson. Well, actually, I'm still going out by myself, so
No valuable lesson learned.
No, just phone charged. I think that's it. Phone charged. Everything else, I don't really know what to tell myself. Because like, what happens if I meet someone? It's like stuttering. Like, obviously you're gonna meet out in public, but what if it's like people are like, oh yeah, we're all going back to my friend's house, like.
I did that a few times and had random sex with people that didn't speak English, and it was everything that I hoped it would be.
Well, I'm talking about, that's a different story, but talking about like even just like friend like party, I don't know, anything parties.
That's
like I
kind
get
of awkward.
sketchy.
I was really sketched out. I ended up by my apartment. There was like these 2 French models. Even though I was in Italy, they like lived together. These beautiful men. They were gorgeous, and it was awkward because they invited me like back to their apartment, and I was like, I don't really know like what you're hoping to like achieve from this, but like I'm just not there. Like I am not gonna get gangbanged by like these French men living in Italy. Like they're gonna like murder me and stuff me in a suitcase or something. I don't know, but it made me kind of uncomfortable. Like I bolted.
Yeah, because they can see that you're an American and they're like, oh, like I feel like they always I shouldn't say they
Well,
always do,
American
but
girls are so gullible because
Yeah.
they want to go over there and like the dream is to fall in love with the European. So they could be ugly as fuck, and then you go and they like pretend to wine and dine you, and then they like
all Europeans do that in general.
they're awful.
They do that here too. I'm like, oh, you guys are all. They know the
Awful.
game.
Yeah,
They all like not to be trusted.
not to be really sketch.
Yeah. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it yet.
Ugh.
So
Very weird.
yeah, so let's hope not. Miami will also be kind of wild, but I know the scene there because I go there, often. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's just going to be.
What's your favorite part of Miami?
I like South Point. So it's not South Beach. I do not like South Beach. It's to the south of that, and it's like where they have that really pretty park.
By like Nikki Beach, like that area?
It's kind of, yes.
Okay.
But it's more like residential. It's kind of upscale.
Yeah.
And it's still the beach, but you can ride bikes along the bike path. They have a beautiful sunset. They have Sunday people go and like play music and they watch.
Nice.
And it's just like a cute area, and they have good restaurants. Obviously, I can't live there because it's very, very expensive. It's by like Poppy Steak. It's right next to that, like that whole neighborhood. Have you heard of that place?
No.
It's like the very expensive steak place where all like the celebrities go.
Oh, wow.
In Miami. I haven't been yet.
Poppy.
Yeah. Ugh. I hate that.
Let's go to Poppy.
But
That's just awkward.
It's in that neighborhood. So the beach area though can be a little bit crazy when tourists come. To be honest, I don't think I'd want to live there. I feel like I'd rather live in like the Brickell downtown.
Yeah.
And have the amenities of like, even though I don't like high rises, but at least, I don't know, I would feel better about
Safer?
it. A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Having like a door person and like, yeah.
A garage to like park your car.
Yeah.
and-
It'd be like a hotel, which would be interesting, but
Is anyone rent? Like, have you secured a spot there yet?
not yet. So it seems like, because I'm looking at August, like beginning or mid, and they don't have a lot listed yet. It's mostly like beginning of July so far.
Like short-term rental?
Yeah, nothing is listed yet. So I think I have to
Okay.
wait another month
Gotcha.
to like really see. But I'm going to be listing my place today, actually. I have someone
Yay!
coming after this to take photos. So
No more recording.
it's not?
No.
Fuck, I knew that was going to happen. What time is it?
2:45.
Oh, shoot. I have to go soon. Anyways. All right, here, press the record button again. Just the red. I will cut this part out. All right. Did it go? Oh. It's like the red button on the right side. The little tiny, like little on the back. There's like a tiny little red thing right there. Right by your thumb, like inside. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Perfecto. I'm not going to Italy. Perfecto. I need to practice my Spanish. That's not Spanish either.
Let me tell you, like it's another world over there. It's really kind of crazy.
I know. And you know what's funny? Every time I talk to Europeans, they're like, United States is the best country in the world, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But they say that like you can just go crazy here and like you can like have no rules here. And it's interesting because I think that about Europe, but that's not the case. Apparently, there are more rules there.
Really?
Which isn't like you can get in trouble for a lot more. Is that not true? Because people, I don't know. I hear that.
Well, European prisons are, I'm sure, not fun.
Maybe it's just you can
Like,
get
remember
away
the whole
with
Amanda
more?
Knox thing?
Yes.
Like I don't want an Amanda Knox situation.
Oh shit. Like
Yeah.
maybe what they're saying is, someone can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but that you can get away with more here. I don't know, but that's just what I hear from people that are not from the US, is that like you just party crazy here, you can get away with everything. It's like college
Yeah.
all the time. Like people tell me that. So I don't know, it's interesting. But we are always like, I want to go to Europe and have fun. So
So
Oh.
cool.
but anyways, we have to go. I'm sorry if it cut off. Hopefully it picked back up wherever I'm talking. But the moral of the story is go after what the hell you want to do, because you just don't know when you can't do that because of various reasons. And I think if there's a will, there's a way. You can always figure things out. I figured it out
right.
within a week of all of this. Just decide, make it happen, go with people, be safe, and
Yep.
like do what you want. That's the whole point of life, is like do what you want when you want to do it. Have fun. Right?
No
Work hard.
regrets.
No regrets. Exactly. All right, guys, that is the end of the podcast. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.